Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Persia in Victoria 2. In the last episode we just had this crisis start, which is not a great crisis. I think there's not really any good way for us to get into a war here that we really want to be in. We don't want anything from France, really. We would like to take things from Italy and the UK. They have some nice land adjacent to us, especially Britain, that we would want to take down here, but occupying this land itself won't be worth much war score if a war breaks out, and that means we'd have to transport troops either up to Italy itself or Great Britain itself to get a good amount of war score, which is inconvenient at best and could be near impossible at worst. Like, we don't have that many transports. We could build more, but as it is we can only transport a certain number of brigades at once, and they're likely to get destroyed before we can transport more up there to help them out. It might not even be possible depending on how good their navies are even. I imagine the UK at least has a pretty good one. Italy's not too great. Actually, they have 166 military score from capital ships. That seems like a lot. The UK has only 16, but 83 from capital ships. We have only 59 from capital ships, so I think that means we are pretty outgunned navally. Certainly, if it was both of them we were against. The UK is strongly inclined to support Italy here. So I think what I'm probably going to do is just right now support Italy, which could potentially convince the UK to go on France's side, in which case we end up fighting the UK and France with Italy on our side. Or the other possibility is the UK just still goes for Italy, and then this crisis almost certainly ends in white peace. So let's see what happens there. Well, they did go on France's side, but we still had a white peace. Okay then. So I guess we're waiting for the next crisis. At this rate, it looks like there's probably only one good war left to be had. But that's okay. We still aren't getting tanks. We do have a tank factory on its way. We are not having anybody interfere with our sphere, which is good. Except that we had China just straight up absorb 2 of our sphere members, which, you know, was not great, but what can you do? China, pretty strong militarily, I think. Okay, Britain and France are allies. That's fine. More tax efficiency. 541 brigades, that's pretty crazy. They're pretty low on army tech, though. 19 of 30. Compared to our 27 of 30. Soon to be 28. Outbreak of tuberculosis. One of the most common killers in the 19th century was tuberculosis, an infectious disease in humans that usually targets the lungs. So we lose some population in one of our regions, lose militancy. Okay. Friedrich Hayek for permanent prestige, and John Maynard Keynes. Interesting that John Maynard Keynes has only just been invented when I think we already have Keynesian economics. But hey. might have some spare armies we could build. At least while we're... I'm going to build irregulars. So while we're waiting on these tanks, we can get some more stuff going. Not too far behind Japan. They're in a war currently. Oh, it's over, I guess. China wants an alliance. I don't think I really want to do that too much. I guess we'll do it. We can always just decline if they try to call us into any wars we don't want to be in. Okay, we're finished with our research. I suppose we'll get heavy armament. That seems good enough. Okay, mechanized mining. We are getting the materials we need for everything except the tanks, so that's good. Apparently, pretty high demand for tanks, and not much in the way of supply. Once we get our own factory going, that will be a little better. We should possibly upgrade some other factories too. Just do the ones that are near their limit for the moment. Capitalists in one of our states have called a lockout following a period of intensifying labor conflict in the area. Tabriz. All poor strata can become more socialist, or rich strata can gain consciousness and militancy. They can do that if they want. So it looks like our likely crises are in Greece, kind of as usual. Though it's going the other way. The Turkey wants something back from Greece. And up here in Russia. Also possible crises here. It would be nice to get involved in a crisis that involves Russia, because we could potentially take some land from them. Turkey, of course, also a possible target in that way. No artillery in this stack because we haven't started building any of these tanks yet, due to the lack of tanks. We can gain influence with Hyderabad, if that's how it's pronounced, and gain 1 infamy, or we can lose influence and lose 5 prestige. I'm not going to gain infamy. We might need to keep all of the infamy that we can in case of a good war breaking out. Don't want to potentially prevent ourselves from adding all the war goals we might want to add. A lot of Russian Red Guards in Russia. Okay, some prestige and some more prestige. We also have fascists. Latvian nationalists. They just have all kinds of rebels, it looks like. Pretty unfortunate for them. And Russian communists. Oh, Latvian nationalists have enforced their demands in Russia. Release Latvia. Okay. Hello, Latvia. Okay, more tax efficiency. Yeah, a lot of these are just at 100% or near enough. So you should get another crisis firing at some point soon. I think France is the only great power that's involved in a war at the moment, so they would be the only one sitting things out. And all I really want out of a crisis is to back the opposite side of either Turkey or Russia, and then get Germany to come in on our side, and then I think we'll be set. Be able to take probably a couple of states in a peace deal, if we can get the war won in time. I'll be pretty happy about it. Hey, tank factory only 70 or so days from being completed. Still not getting any tanks at all otherwise. Rebels in Egypt. Oh, they're fine. No problem at all. Oh, and we have Persian communists again. Let's see, just one stack down here in Africa. You are on rebel suppression, that's good. Got another stack up here too. Should be no problem. No excessively large armies, so I think we still have enough armies on rebel suppression from before that they can just take care of it. And we can create a state in Yemen. That's good. Yes, we got the required number of bureaucrats. Yemen granted statehood, another astounding victory for Persia today, as it has now become clear that Yemen will, as has been expected for some time, be taken up into the Persian patrimony with the full rights of national statehood. Great. Do we have any of our other colonial states that are in any way close to statehood? 0.05 in Persian Punjab, which is not great. 0.17 Uzbekia. .3 there, that's not so bad. Maybe we'll switch to encouraging bureaucrats here for a little while, just to see if there's any chance we can make that happen. Okay, our communists are being taken care of. Ooh, and a newspaper. What a rare treat. Australia fears we are coming. Well, we're not. To Australia, at least. And Latvia expands. More accurately, Latvia exists now. Why do you fear we're coming, Australia? All tucked away down there. Okay, finished our research. We may as well get the last military tech. Alright, and there is our tank factory. Let's increase the hiring priority on that so we can actually start building tanks. At a reasonable rate. Annals of Mashriki History. A historian of some renown has published a book on Mashriki history in Thais. This book has the potential to become fairly explosive stuff among the Mashriki minority, but we are in a position to exert some influence over its distribution. So in Yemen, capitalists and aristocrats will gain consciousness, or craftsmen and clerks. Well, I'm sure there are a lot more craftsmen and clerks than capitalists and aristocrats, so we'll let them gain consciousness. A strike today in one of our states, initiated by communist troublemakers and revolutionaries, was swiftly put down by local police. Eritrea. We can become more conservative, lose militancy, or become more socialist and gain militancy. Conservative is fine. Still don't see any progress on the whole tank situation. Suppose we only have 900 people working there at the moment. There are encouraging craftsmen here, and it is hiring at high priority, so hopefully it should pick up a bit in a while. A directive on trade in the provinces. As part of our government's citizenship policy, soldiers of the Home Army have been ordered to only buy goods from Persian traders. This is starting to aggravate already existing tensions in Ardahan, as local Kurdish traders feel the effects of government discrimination. So pops in cars where they're not Persian or accepted culture gain militancy, or where they are Persian or accepted culture will gain militancy. Cars. So Turkish is not accepted culture. Armenian is the next largest. Is not accepted. Kurdish, not accepted. So I guess there's very few people who are of accepted culture, or Persian. 1.3% Persian is probably the only amount, so if they gain militancy, that's not a big deal. Okay, we can construct airplanes now. More historical annals. We can probably let the aristocrats and capitalists gain consciousness again. And tensions in Yemen. No crises in Yemen, please. There are plenty of other places at 100% where we're more likely to have a crisis and would be better for us. Fears of Montenegro. Fascists have taken to the streets in one of Argentinian states in a show of force for the party. Okay. We will respect their beliefs. Our tank factory is filling up. It's producing 0 tanks, though. I imagine we're not getting electric gears, is that the problem? Same in our aeroplane factory. Probably should have considered that one. I don't think we have an electric gear factory. But we do have factories that need them. Well, if I'd been paying more attention to this, would have made sure that we had an electric gear factory or two. But as it is, we'll just have to get 1 or 2 building right now. Not sure it really matters where. Somewhere where we have iron and coal, though, would be good. Rather than look and see where we have it, I'm just going to build them in the same factories as we have, or the same provinces we have steel factories, because I assume I would have built steel factories where there's iron in the province. Let's get 2 building, I think. Should be reasonable. Is that the only steel factory we have? Apparently it is. We'll build one here then as well. And I don't know why I keep forgetting that they're up the top of the list. So that would have been better to have built already, but we at least only have to wait a year. But we're out of time for this episode, so we'll have to leave it here. Thanks for watching, and join me again next time.